Well, hello there. My mystical musing today is just something that Yeshua has been laying on my heart, and I've just been pondering and chewing on it for a few months now, and it's an ongoing thing. And I just want to talk a little bit about the seed. I grew up on a farm and know a little bit about how the ground has to be prepared for a seed to be planted, and to watch it break forth and to bear the crop or the fruit that's needed. And it's always been amazing. Yahweh's heart is embedded in the seed for us in our journey. And as we see in creation, it's amazing the depths of his heart that he displays through creation. And my little musing about the seed is basically, a seed is not something that you would take and say display on your mantle. Oh, look at this seed, look at how amazing it looks. It's basically created, and it's called to be engulfed in the deep soil. It is where it learns to sit and learns to be still. And in that place it receives. The seed receives the rain and the warmth of the sun, of what Yahweh has created for it to be embedded as to grow. And that seed remains hidden. Yet in that hidden place, it expands and it grows, but it grows upward. It's in that place that it starts to gain strength. That strength to break through the compacted ground, to break through and past obstacles and rocks and things that might be in the way. It sprouts forth towards the sun. And when it sprouts forth, it displays itself from that hidden place to the place of being revealed. As it's learned to sit in that seated place, that seed comes forth. It's an amazing thing just to ponder that. That little seed is able to expand and grow and come forth. That's an amazing thought. Just within itself, that's amazing. But when it comes forth, we see what comes out of the ground like a stalk. It depends on if it's a stalk of corn, it can be a tree, it can be a multitude of things. But it has a specific purpose, and it grows upwards towards the sun. And what I find amazing about the seed is that it has learned to be engulfed and embedded within the place that it was, and learn to be content in that place, and that's where it grows. And the amazing thing about that seed when it breaks forth is that fruit happens. Fruit happens. It's the evidence of a seed planted in purpose and evidence of a seed maturing. And I just like to say that another thing that I've been pondering about this seed, and I'm talking mainly about seeds that are planted in the ground, because seed is a multifaceted thing. I mean, all of us have come out of the seed of the womb, right? And there's a multifaceted way of looking at the seed. But in this case, I'm just looking at the seed that's been planted in the ground. It's been packed in there. And it is under a weightiness when it is buried in the ground. It rests there until it breaks open into the weightiness. And it springs up through that weightiness. And it uses the weightiness to catapult it into its future, its destiny to bear fruit. It has learned out of that place of rest to become what it was created to become. That little seed doesn't look like anything at that point in time or what it's supposed to become, but it does. And it's amazing. And the question is, for myself, for you, is what does that weightiness look like for you and for us? And how are we encamped within that weightiness? A word for weightiness, maybe, I think it's in the Hebrew, is kabod. the weightiness of his glory, the weightiness of his presence. We are planted and seated in the weightiness of his glory as we are encamped, engulfed, entangled into him. Out of that we grow. Life can hit you with all sorts of things, obstacles that as we remain in Yeshua and abide, we learn to grow towards him and untangle from those things that would hold us down. Because what's amazing about a seed is that in the natural, you look at it, there's so much holding it back, what would look like in the natural, but it finds a way to break through. And it receives what the rain and the warmth. And as we remain in Yeshua, in his heart, we receive the same. We receive that which helps us to grow, because growth happens there. I see Yeshua's heart as the soil for the seed. And one thing when I was engaging with the seed is I would lay my head on Yeshua's chest. And when I was doing that, I became engulfed within the soil of his heart, where I learned to be planted, where I learned to be still, where I learned to let go, and where I learned to rest. And in that place I learned to break forth. It's a maturing process. And out of that, he will display within you and within me what has been planted in our DNA to be displayed. And out of that, guess what? Fruit happens. Fruit happens. It's amazing. It's amazing to see. And I just wanted to share a little bit about it because I know that you are getting uploads, downloads, revies about the seed, and you've had it in your life. And I just wanted to just give a little bit so that you can begin to ponder. You can lay your head in the very heart of Yeshua and allow that weightiness, that engulfing, that encamping of being in his heart become the soil that you can break forth. So we just honor Yahweh. We honor him as our creator, and it displays the splendor of who he is. And we thank you that, Yeshua, we can lay our head into your heart and let the soil of the heartbeat of your life and your love engulf us, and we can spring forth, and life happens out of that. So thank you for taking a moment to listen about the seed.